Good morning, everybody. My name is Kira. I'm going to be teaching the 8:30 yoga class this morning. We're going to be doing 60 minutes of yoga asana practice. So a few things, grab some space, grab some blocks. Remember that you can use cans or hardcover books as blocks. A blanket or a bath towel is a great substitution, and a strap, like a necktie or a belt. So those are just the few things that we need for practice this morning. And then I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about this concept of a leap of faith this morning. So we're going to be working towards the peak pose or party pose of Harmon Asana. So the mythology behind this pose is this deity Hanuman, whose divinity was veiled from him until he took this leap of faith. Shiva had asked him to travel the world to find his wife, who was stolen from him. So Hanuman comes to this edge of the cliff, and the ocean is expanding before him, and he takes this leap of faith, one leg stretching across the entire length of the ocean, and he lands in this pose, Harmon Asana, full splits. So we're working towards that today, and then I just wanted to talk about, what is required when we take a leap of faith in our life, and on the mat as well. So there are the practical things that are required of the pose, like opening the hamstrings, flexion through the hips, all of that good stuff that I'm going to lead you through this morning. And then also what's required of us mentally. Willingness, trust, resilience, strength, and then this lightness of heart as well. Not lightheartedness, but lightness of heart. Because we have to take a leap of faith, we gotta, at some point you just have to go for it, and that takes a lot of heart. So I'm going to be drawing a lot of attention to the heart space today. So let's begin by coming to a comfortable seat, finding your sit bones, taking a few rounds of breath to just kind of settle this morning. Breathing deeply, beginning to notice the quantity and quality of your breath. And then we're going to bring our attention to our heart space. And I'm actually going to recommend that you take your first two fingers and find the space of your heart. So on your sternum bone. And breathe into that space. Maybe imagining a light pulsing in your heart. And begin to bring your breath into your heart center on every inhale. And then on the exhale, imagine the breath traveling up the spinal column and out the crown of the head. Exhaling beyond the body. So inhale into the space of the heart center. Exhaling beyond the body through the crown of the head. Maybe using that imagery of light. Pulsating from the heart space and then traveling through the crown of your head. Noticing how the collarbones begin to spread and relax as you breathe into this space. Bringing your awareness to the back of the heart space. Shoulder blades begin to soften. Back ribs begin to soften. Beginning to enjoy a lightness as you watch the breath traveling through the heart center and beyond your body. Noticing the head softly resting on top of the spinal column, loose jaw. Relax your eyebrows, your forehead. And then on an inhale, breathe a little more awareness into your body. Bring the attention back to the space around you, and then softly blinking the eyes open. And let's get going this morning. So we're going to begin with a little bit of foot love right away. So from your comfortable seat, you can have one leg extended or crossed, whatever is going to be most comfortable for you. And then you're going to cradle your right leg and hold on to the ankle really steady. Take your left hand to the ball mound of the foot and then just start circling the foot. So we're going to watch these actions while we do them. It helps our brain to kind of bring more awareness into our feet, which our feet do a lot of work for us day to day, but we don't really spend a lot of time giving them a lot of love. So changing the direction of your circles, noticing the range of movement today. And then we're going to thread our fingers between our toes as much as possible. I know for some of us this is a little bit more challenging, but working the fingers into the webbing between the toes, and then again, still stabilizing the ankle with my right foot, and then circle, watching the whole time, noticing sensation, and changing directions, and then loosen the fingers, and then maybe close the toes, spread the toes, close the toes, spread the toes. Maybe give it another good circle, and then let's do the other side. So we're gonna stabilize the ankle, hand to the ball mound, and then some nice easy circles this morning. Changing directions. And then again, lacing the fingers between the toes, giving a nice little squeeze, and then taking some gentle circles. Approaching any sensations from a place of curiosity, lightheartedness. And changing directions and maybe wiggling back and forth, and then taking the fingers out and then spread and close, spread and close. A few pops, another circle. Awesome. Okay, and then we're going to come into Ardha Supta Virasana right away, which is a pretty intense quad stretch right off the bat. So we're going to have our right leg extended straight out in front of us and sweep the left leg back so that the heel is outside of the hip. You might need your blanket here, and you can fold it up pretty thick, so your blanket or your towel, and prop it under your right hip. That might help you get into this. The other option that you can do is roll up your blanket or towel and either place it here and sit back, or you can place it under the ankle depending on where you're feeling like you need a little bit more stability. I know for some of us, the knee joint just isn't built this way, so you can take your foot to the inside of your thigh, knee extending out to the side is another good option. Okay, so now that we've gone through all of that, from here, try to root your sit bones down evenly into the mat, the towel, left knee pointing either straight down towards the mat or out to the side, whichever option you took. And then you can just begin to recline. It's pretty early in practice, so I'm going to stay up and breathe into the quad. And we'll just take a few rounds of breath here, stabilizing through the deep low belly. So that's another thing that I'm going to talk about a lot today is the deep low belly. That's the space about 2 fingers south of your navel, and you want a slight contraction in and up in that space to provide a lot of stability, protect our low backs. Noticing the breath. And then to switch, we'll just roll onto the right hip, extend the leg out in front of us, maybe windshield wiper the feet from side to side, and then pulling the right leg back. Or foot to inner thigh if that's where you are today. Grounding down through the sit bones. Energetically pulling the knee towards the bottom of the mat or out to the side. Feeling how that lengthens the quadriceps all the way up to your abdominals. Noticing that our legs actually begin up here, not in our hips. Keeping the left leg active. One more inhale here. And then rolling onto the left hip. We're going to come down to our mat. Have your strap, necktie, or belt handy. We're just going to roll down. We're going to take a nice, gentle, happy baby this morning. So you want your sacrum grounded into the mat, back of the heart into the mat, head pressing about 20% into your mat, and then you're going to spread the feet wide, trying to bring knees towards elbows, reaching to grab outside of the feet, or maybe taking peace fingers to toes. You can also grab shins. And then keeping the tailbone pressing down into the mat. Take an inhale and then exhale, draw your knees towards your armpits. Trying to spread the feet away from each other. Staying really active through the inner thighs. Heart shining towards the front of the, or shining towards the ceiling rather. Feeling a nice opening through the lower back. Maybe rocking side to side. And then bringing the knees to the chest. Give yourself a nice hug. And then extend the left leg long on the mat. Hug your right knee in. Grab your strap. And we're going to place the strap around the heel of your right foot. And then extend the leg. So you can keep a slight bend in your leg. And allow your leg to go wherever it lands today. So we're not forcing this stretch. We're going to allow our body to just be where it is. And since it's early in practice, it's probably a little bit tight right now. So from here, from the deep low belly, pull in so you have a nice active core. And then plug the head of your femur into your hips, so like you're really pulling your leg into the hip socket. Like imagine someone is pushing down on your heel, and then push your heel into the strap rather than pulling on your leg with your arms. Like my arms are actually not a lot of tension. I'm pushing my heel through the strap, pulling the shoulder blades down, shining the heart forward. Left leg is nice and active, like I'm standing on the left leg. So you have one long line of energy from your deep low belly, shooting out your heel. Breathing deeply. And then take the strap in your right hand, turn your left arm out like a capital letter T, palm up, plug your left shoulder into the mat. Inhale, and then on an exhale, press your heel so much to the side of the room that the leg starts to slowly open to the right side of the room. You want to keep your hips grounded into the mat. So if the left hip pops up, come back, draw the deep low belly in, and start again. And maybe only going out to the side a little bit today. That's okay. Wherever you are is a wonderful place to be. Hugging everything into your deep low belly, and then shooting out from the left palm to the right heel. And then inhale, draw the leg back towards the body. Release, squeeze the knee in, give yourself a nice hug. And then we'll set up for the second side. So release the strap, spread the right leg long on the mat, hug the left leg in, give it a nice little squeeze, and then strap up. Strap on the heel, extend the leg, plug your sacrum to the mat, back of the heart into the mat, standing tall on your right leg. Noticing subtle differences from side to side. Noticing if you're pulling with your arms, release and play with pressing for your heel and then plugging the leg back into the hip socket, and just notice how that feels. Maybe that allows your hip to come into flexion a little bit easier. Maybe you can start to feel the strong line of energy through the back of your leg. And then taking the strap in your left hand, opening the right arm out to the side, plug the right shoulder into the mat, keep the hips level, and start to slowly draw the left leg over to the side. Still keeping the leg bone drawing into the hip socket as you press the heel into the strap. Soften through the neck, through the jaw. Soften the eyebrows. One more round of breath. And exhale, pulling the leg back up to center. Hug in. Release the strap. Bring both knees into the chest. Give yourself a nice little squeeze. And then we'll rock and roll. Taking a few moments to enjoy the rolling sensation on the back of our spine. And then as you're ready, crossing, hands rolling over feet, coming to a tabletop position. So from your tabletop, set up nice and get stable. You want your wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, drawing the eyes of the elbows towards each other, and then scrub your hands away from each other to draw your shoulder blades apart, and then draw the tips of the shoulder blades together Think heart towards the mat, back of the heart towards the ceiling. Tailbone extends towards the back of the room, and then tuck the toes. Walk your hands one palm print forward, and then ground down equally through all four corners of the hands. Shift your weight, draw your hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. In your down dog, press the floor away from you, and then draw your shoulder blades down your back. Breathing length into the spine, heart melting towards the ground, tailbone reaching up and back. Inhale, walk forward, coming into a nice forward fold. Bringing your hands to your hips, ground down through all three corners of both feet. Squeeze your inner thighs together to broaden through your back, and then on an inhale, rise all the way up to standing. From here, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift, present your heart. Exhale, fold forward. Step the left foot back. Drop the heel to a diagonal, and then squeeze your legs together. Root through the pinky side edge of your left foot. Get really stable from your deep low belly. Draw the legs together, and from that place of stability, inhale, arms up, coming into warrior one. One round of breath, and then drop the hands, step back to plank pose. One round of breath to get really steady and stable, drawing the crown of the head towards the front of the mat, tailbone dropping down towards the back. Inhale, and then exhale, drop the knees, shift forward, slowly with control, lower all the way down, flip the feet. Inhale, pull the elbows together, scrub your hands forward, peel up into an easy cobra. Exhale, release back the way you came. Tuck the toes, press the hips back into a child's pose. Take an inhale, curl, round through the back body, and then lift the hips, coming into downward facing dog. On an inhale, step the left foot forward, drop the right foot at an angle. Get buoyant through the hips. Think cat back. Press through the back legs so firmly that you feel your pinky toe connecting to the mat, and then peel up, warrior one. Sinking the hips down and forward, draw the left hip back. Exhale, frame the foot, step to the top of the mat. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Palms meet together at the heart on the exhale. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, fold forward. On an inhale, half lift, present your heart. Exhale, fold forward, stepping the left foot back, drop the heel. Come on up to warrior two. This time, grabbing opposite elbows behind you. Pull the right hip back, left foot forward. Drawing the low ribs in, and then leading with your heart, draw your right shoulder inside your right knee, keeping the spine long, rooting through the pinky side edge of your left foot. Inhale, come on up. Exhale, hands frame the foot, step back to your plank pose. Drop the knees, shift forward, lower down. Flip the feet, ground down through your pelvis. Draw your shoulder blades down the mat. Think curly spine, lift on up. Exhale, release. Flip the toes, press back to child's pose for one breath, and then lift the hips up and back to downward facing dog. One round of breath here. And then step the left foot forward, dropping right heel. Inhale, rise on up. And then grabbing opposite elbows, switch the grip this time to grab the funky side. Check in with your low ribs. Draw your left hip back, right hip forward, and then try to like rip the mat beneath you by pressing your feet so firmly apart from each other. Get active in your deep low belly and then lead from your heart, fold forward. Inhale, rise up. Lengthen through the spine and then exhale, fold forward. Step your feet to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Palms meet together at the heart on an exhale. We'll take one more round just like that, linking your breath with your movement, maybe going faster or slower than me. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, lead with your heart, spill over your hips, fold forward. Inhale, hands to shins, flat back, present your heart. Exhale, fold forward. Stepping the left foot back, dropping the heel. Squeeze the legs together, round through the back, drawing your heart towards the sky. And then maybe this time clasping hands together, peeling your heart up towards the ceiling. Inhale, draw the low ribs in, and then bring right shoulder inside right knee. Still squeezing the legs together. Inhale, palms touch the ground on your way up. Fold forward, stepping back to plank pose. Take one round of breath in plank, drawing the deep low belly in, and then on your exhale, slowly lowering with control. So hips, belly, chest arrive at the same time. Flip the feet, scrub your heart forward, peel up, think curly spine. Exhale, draw the chest forward to come on down. Flip the toes, shift the hips back to child's pose. Lift the hips to downward facing dog. One round of breath here. Stepping the left foot forward, dropping the right heel. Peel up to warrior two. Shifting right hip forward, left hip back. And then bringing the arms behind you. Changing the grip. Draw the knuckles down your tailbone as you draw your tailbone towards the ground. Heart lifts towards the ceiling. Draw the deep low ribs in. And then inhale, hinge at the hip. Bring left knee to left shoulder. Inhale, release the hands. Sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Step to the top of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Palms meet together at the ceiling. And draw the palms through heart center. Take a few rounds of breath to just check in with your body. Rooting down through the big toe mound, the pinky side edge, the heel dot, and then energetically squeezing your thighs towards each other. Draw the deep low belly in, draw the ribs in, shoulder blades draw together and down the rib cage. Collarbones spread, biceps roll out, palms face the front of the room. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, pouring your heart over your hips. Inhale, half lift, present your heart. Exhale, fold forward, stepping the left foot back. So coming into a low lunge, our back leg is really excited about Sunday morning. So really active, heel pressing into the imaginary wall behind you. Right knee is stacking over right leg. Hips are buoyant, drawing the deep low belly in. And then on an inhale, shift your hips so much that the front leg starts to straighten. And then exhale, fold forward, release, maybe taking a little bit of a back bend here. Think of this as like our cat-cow today. So on an inhale, from the deep low belly, lift the hips up and back, rounding through the back of your spine. Press the back of your t-shirt towards the front of the room. Exhale, drop the hips, pull the heart through the arm bones. We'll take a couple more rounds. And then settling back into our low lunge, drop the foot to a 90-degree angle, set up heel to arch alignment, and then windmill the arms up, come on up to your warrior two. We'll just take a few rounds of breath here, pushing the feet away from each other, front knee towards the side of your mat, low ribs drawing in, and then the arms from this place of stability in your lower body can expand and release. And then on an inhale, flip the palms towards the front of the room, tip back, straighten the front leg to a reverse triangle, feeling a long line of energy from our right fingertips to the top of our right foot. And then on an exhale, hinge forward, draw your left hip towards the back of the room as you bring your heart to the front of the room, coming into triangle. This is where a block underhand can be good, or you can take your hand to your shin. Just be careful not to put too much weight. So you're supporting yourself from your deep low belly. Spread the collarbones wide, spread your wingspan, roll your right shoulder and press your right forearm into your right leg and your right leg into your right forearm to open up the heart even more towards the side of the room. And then from your left hand, as if someone's pulling you, rise back on up. And then big step to the top of the mat. And then we'll do the other side. So I'm gonna flip so that you guys can still see me. So we're gonna step the right foot back, coming into our lunge. Taking a few rounds of breath here to get nice and active through the back leg. Pulling belly button to spine. And then on an inhale, shift the hips up and back so much that the front leg straightens. Push the floor away from you with your hands to create a cat back. And then exhale, release, thinking cow pose. Pull the heart through. Take a few more of these with your breath. Articulating through each vertebrae. Moving your legs from your deep low belly. One more round. And then the next time you're in lunge, drop the back heel, come into heel to arch alignment, windmill the hands up, coming into warrior two. So spreading the legs apart from each other, bending deeply into the front foot, pressing through the back foot, and then feeling the stability in your legs allows for the upper body to expand and maybe relax. Gaze over the front fingertips. And then on an inhale, left arm rises, left leg straightens. Take a nice stretch through the left side body, drawing the shoulder blades down the back still, space between the ear and the shoulder. And then exhale, hinge forward, draw the right hip back, leading with your heart, dropping left arm inside left leg, or to a can, or to your shin. Making sure that the left foot, the entire foot, is plugged into the mat. And then pressing through the back edge, the pinky side edge of the back foot to create more of a stretch through the side body. And then rolling the heart towards the front of the mat, or I'm sorry, the side of the room, not the front of the mat. That'd be a totally different pose. One more round of breath here. And then, like I'm pulling on the back of your arm, lift on up, turn the feet parallel to the mat, and then big step to the top of the room. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold forward. And then stepping the left foot back, coming back into our lunge. Just for a moment, we'll drop the back heel right away, windmill the arms up, coming into our warrior two just for a moment. So sink into this pose, and then straighten the front leg, tip forward, coming into your triangle pose. Rolling the heart open, expanding through the back of the heart as much as through the front of the heart. And then from here, you're going to take a slight bend into the front foot, shifting your weight into your front foot. Start to walk your back leg in just a little bit. And this is where a block can come in handy. Or if you have a chair in the room, you can put your hand on a chair. We're going to draw our attention to our deep low belly. Squeeze in and up. Get really stable on our standing leg, on our front leg, excuse me. And then glide the back foot off the ground as you straighten the front leg. Heart still reaching towards the side of the room. Plug your lifted leg into the hip socket like we were earlier in class. Flex through the foot. Exhale, release. Slowly back down to the mat. And then turn the feet forward to the side of your mat, and we'll come into a wide-legged forward fold. So from here, you want to root all edges of the foot into the mat, like you're drawing energy up the inner seam, squeezing the inner thighs together, and then radiating energy down the outer edges of your legs into the pinky side edge of your foot. From here, we'll hinge at the hips to fold forward, placing hands under shoulders. Legs are really active here, feeling a nice stretch to the backs of the legs and through the back body. And then from here, half lift, present your heart, and then walk your fingers over towards the left so that hands frame the left foot now, setting up for the second side. So from here, drop the right foot down, heel to arch alignment, and then windmill the hands out and up, coming into warrior two. We'll take just a few rounds of breath in warrior two, and then straighten the front leg, pull forward, rooting down through the back leg as you drop your left arm towards the mat. Heart shining forward, hips towards the side of the room, pressing through that pinky side edge of the back foot. And then as you're ready, shift the gaze to the forward foot, bend into the forward knee, place the hand outside and to the front of the forward foot. And then we're gonna glide the back foot up, lifting the back foot, hugging the lifted leg into the hip socket, and then radiating out through the lifted heel. Spiraling the heart towards the side of the room. Plugging into the big toe mound of the standing leg. And then when you're ready, slowly, carefully, with control, coming back. And we'll pass through our wide-legged forward fold once again. So feet parallel to the edges of the mat. Squeeze your inner thighs together and feel an opening and a broadening through your sacrum and the back of your pelvis. And then as you're ready, inhale, half lift, present your heart, and then walk your hands to frame the right foot. So from here, we're going to drop down onto our left knee, and the top of the left foot grounds into the mat. And then walk your right foot out so that your hands are now inside of your hips. This is also another spot where cans might be a good option for you to just bring the ground a little bit higher. And then from here, we're just gonna shift the hips a little bit, maybe from side to side, maybe pull forward and back. The knee is tracking over the big toe and the second toe, pressing through the forward heel, and then extending the back leg long. From here, you might place your left hand out to the side, maybe even coming off your mat a little bit, and then shift the weight into the left palm. Take the right hand to the right knee, and then just apply very gentle pressure on the inside of your knee. So I'm above the knee joint, so it's really more of the thigh, and just ever so slight pressure to just encourage a little more opening through the inner thigh and the hip. Actively pushing the top of the left foot into the mat, and then roll the heart open to the right side of the room. And then inhale, release. Bring the hands back, tuck the toes, lift the hips up from the deep low belly. And then with as much control as possible, push your hands into the ground, cat back, lift your right leg from your belly, step back to plank pose. And then from here, drop the right knee down, stepping the left foot forward, coming into our lizard lunge on this side. So you might want to walk your right knee back a little bit and then plugging the top of the right foot into the mat. Left toes turn out slightly. Knee tracking over the first two toes. And then just shift the hips. Feel into the sensations this morning. If it's appropriate for you, you can come down onto your elbows. Imagine that you're crawling your ribs and heart and shoulders out of your pelvis. So you're coming forward and then down rather than just collapsing. So we want to always be lengthening the spine and then folding into it. And then stepping the right hand out to the side, maybe off of the mat. Shift your weight into the right hand and then bring left hand to knee. And then apply gentle pressure. Very, very gentle. And then rolling the heart towards the left side of the room. Feeling lengthening through the right quad. And then release, hands walk back in. Pick the back knee off the mat. Activate through the deep low belly and then pull, step the left foot back. And then from here, we're just gonna step our right foot forward between our hands and then walk the right foot over to the left hand, and then dropping the knee as close to parallel as the mat as possible. But for some people, it's just not going to be possible. So be kind with where you are, and then ratchet your left foot back to create a little bit more space through the back quadriceps, and then press the top of the foot into the mat. Hug your legs together. Feel that buoyancy in your pelvis, and then begin to hinge from the hips, trying to keep the hip points even with each other, and start to crawl your heart out of your hips and come forward. Drawing the right hip back, left hip forward. Softening the gaze. Releasing tension in the jaw. Inhale, walk the hands back. And then just roll onto the right hip. Sweep the left leg in front of you. And then as gracefully as possible, come into a low lunge with your left leg forward, and we'll set up for the second side. So take a moment to just realign the spine here. And then walk the left hand over to the right, dropping the left knee. Ratchet the right leg back, plugging the top of the right foot into the mat, and then energetically squeeze your legs together, pulling the left hip back, right hip forward. My left foot is nice and active to protect the knee. And this is where it might feel good to take your blanket and slide it under your hip for just a little bit of extra support. And then begin to pull the heart forward, hinge at the hips, and come on down to the mat. Inhale, press yourself back up. Roll onto the left hip, moving any props. And then we'll come back into a low lunge with our right foot forward. Back knee or left knee is on the mat. So from here, you might want your blocks or cans handy. It can be helpful to kind of walk both of them with you. So what we're going to do is we're going to come into our Harmon Asana, remembering our lightness of heart, a little bit of play, and and a little bit of trust as well. So start to walk your left knee back, and as you do, keep your deep low belly drawing in and up, core is engaged, and begin to straighten through the forward leg. So if you have your cans, you can place your cans under your hands and try to bring your heart up. Squeeze your legs together. Feel that lift in the deep low belly, and then feel the lift, the lightness of heart through your heart center. This is a big opening pose. It's a very energetic pose. Pulling the left hip back, right hip forward, plugging the right leg into the hip socket, extending through the heel of the right foot. Heart shines forward. And then slowly, carefully, gracefully exit out of this. Nice way to come out is to just put your hands to the inside, bend the back leg, and then come on to seated. Then we'll give the second side a go. So coming into our low lunge, taking a moment just to sink our hips forward, giving that left leg a little bit of love after that deep extension. So then from here, start to ratchet the right leg back, taking your hips with you, and then straightening through the front leg. Trying to keep your hips as even as possible, so left hip back, right hip forward. And then when you come to your end range, set your cans up under your hands. Heart is lifted. Pressing through the left heel, plugging the left leg into the hip socket. Feeling the stability and support of your legs, of your pelvis, your deep low belly, and then letting the energy just radiate out the crown of your head. Maybe bringing one arm up, maybe bringing both arms up. Breathing into the sensation. If anything becomes painful, back off. And then exhale, release, hands inside, and then carefully come on down to seated. Awesome. Hope that was fun for everybody. It's fun to kind of test your limits, even with, that's not one of my poses, but I still love to just play around with it. It's very, very energizing. So from here, we're going to roll onto our backs, coming into a bridge pose. So you're going to press your sacrum into the back of the mat, walk your feet in so that you can tickle the backs of your heels with your hands. Press elbows into the mat, roll the biceps out, press the shoulder blades down and together into the mat. Back of the head presses slightly into the mat as well. And then on an inhale, pull your heels towards your butt, and then squeeze your glutes, lift your hips, pull your heart towards the back of the, towards the top of the mat, and then maybe bringing hands to interlace behind you, maybe crawling the shoulder blades together. Energetically squeezing your thighs together, lift your hips another inch. Exhale slowly, carefully, one vertebrae at a time. Lower down. And then take a moment to just invite stillness into the body. Resist the urge to move at all. Realign the spine. Feel any buzzing of energy, sensations, and then we'll set up for another round. So set up like you know how. Drag your heels towards your butt, and then lift your hips. Draw your knees towards your feet and beyond the mat. Crawl your shoulders underneath you. Heart lifts up and back beyond the crown of your head. Squeeze your thighs together, squeeze your shoulders together. Lift your hips another inch. Exhale, release slowly with control. And again, just invite stillness. One final round. Best expression today. Press into your heels. Lift your hips. Draw the arms together. Press the backs of your arms into the mat. Squeezing your legs together. And exhale, release. Now walking your feet a little bit wider than the mat, you can just windshield wiper the legs back and forth a few times. And then rolling onto one side, press yourself up to seated. We're gonna do just a few more poses, just one more pose, and then we're done. So come on up to kneeling, and then kick your feet over to the left, and then sit your hips back so that your heels, both heels are outside of your left hip. And you might need to shift and shimmy around a little bit. Maybe elevate your right hip with a blanket. And then from here, we're just gonna take a nice gentle twist by taking our right arm to the left knee. Twisting from the deep low belly, through the ribs, through the collarbones. And then on the exhale, slowly unwind, and we'll take a counter twist. Left knee, left hand to right knee, right hand can prop you up. Think length through the spine before twisting. And then exhale, slowly release. Come back up to your kneeling position. Kick the feet over towards the right and then sit the hips back. Trying to shift and shimmy to get your hips as close to even as possible. And then inhale, bringing the left arm to the right leg. Exhaling, return to center, and then take a counter twist. Heart shining towards the top of your mat. And then exhale, slowly release. We'll do one forward fold and then set up for Shavasana. So your forward fold is going to be your choice, whatever feels best in your body. We did a lot of hip opening today, and so really just whatever you are craving. We're either going to do legs extended, just a kind of your basic forward fold, or Reconnecting, knees drawn in, or you can take a wide-legged forward fold, whatever is going to feel best for you. My cues are going to be the same no matter which variation you choose. You're going to start with nice active legs, so the heels are pressing into the mat, quadriceps engaged, feeling some nice tension through the legs, drawing the legs into the hip sockets. If you're in Baddha Konasana, you're going to squeeze your butt and draw your knees a little bit closer to the mat, and then sit up, spine nice and tall, and then think heart melting forward, hinge at the hips, and start to walk yourself into a nice, easy forward fold. Length through the spine first, and then you can begin to round and melt into the posture. If you want to take a little support here, you can roll up your blanket, stack all of your blocks, and maybe support yourself. Breathing into the back of your heart, breathing into your kidneys. As you bring your breath to your back body, you might find that you are able to fold a little bit more forward. Heart melting towards the ground, crown of the head reaching beyond your toes. And then on an inhale, slowly, carefully walk yourself back up to a seated position. And then we'll set up for Shavasana. So come on down to your mat. Let your feet roll out, legs relax. Maybe roll your shoulder blades under you to create a little cradle for the back of your heart. And then the biceps turn out, palms up. And just begin to release into the ground, coming into stillness. Shavasana is this time for us to slip between the spaces of time and sit with ourselves. Let our bodies relax after an invigorating asana practice. Let go of the breath. Let go of any thoughts. Let go of any to-dos. The only thing that matters right now is you on your mat, in your body. So give yourself a few minutes to release, absorb, and integrate the benefits of your practice. One of the benefits of being at home in our personal space is we can stay here for as long as we like. If you're ready to bring some awareness back into the body, maybe take a few rounds of awakening breath. Start to tune into the sounds in the room around you. Tune into how the mat feels beneath your body. And then begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes, maybe rolling out the wrists and ankles. On an inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Take a nice, luxurious, full body stretch. Maybe some side bends would feel good. And then as you're ready, rolling over onto one side, coming into the fetal position. Taking a moment here to enjoy the comfort of your own company. Check in with your breath. This breath that's always there for you, always guiding you. Taking a moment here to thank yourself at least as much as I thank each and every one of you for so intentionally carving out this time to practice today. For the benefit of yourselves and for everyone and everything around you. What a gift. And then as you're ready, using just your arms, pull yourself up or push yourself up to a comfortable seat. And then turn the biceps out, palms up, sweep the arms out and overhead, knowing that the palms will meet above your head in the center. On an exhale, pull the palms down to your heart center, reconnecting with this space, noticing subtle shifts. To each of you I bow. Namaste. Om. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the practice and are feeling great and ready to go out for the rest of your day, whatever it may bring. This week we are doing a challenge for you guys to attend a group exercise class, which you guys already did one. That's awesome. You could do another. So check the schedule, see what we have. We have some live yoga happening at the J, as well as some virtual classes. Senta teaches Tuesday nights at 7:15 via Zoom. So let me know if you want the link for that. If you also are a cardio junkie like I am, come join me Wednesday morning for a 30-minute indoor cycling class, and then we'll do a 30-minute yoga release afterwards. Super yummy. I'd love to see you all there. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much for joining. Take care, everybody.